Mama Edith, and the children and the family of my late friend Kenneth Stanley Nyindo Matiba. Your Excellency the President, Deputy President, fellow Munas, and Muranga Muriega, Muriega Rengi, Madani Arogosio. We have come to celebrate the life of a great Kenyan patriot, Kenneth Stanley Nyindo Matiba. I'm here with my wife, Madam Raila Odinga, who has come here as a friend of the family. Madam, could you just stand up and wave? We are family friends of Ken. And I want to say without fear of contradiction that in that coffin lies a great Kenyan patriot, Kenneth Matiba. People have talked of Matiba as a philanthropist, Matiba a family man, Matiba a bureaucrat, Matiba a businessman, Matiba a sportsman, Matiba the politician. So people have done justice to a number of those topics, except one, Matiba the sportsman. I first came to know Matiba in the game of soccer, and we became close friends. At that time, he was the chief executive of Kenya Breweries. And because of his love for soccer and sports generally, he started a very, very strong club, the Kenya Breweries Football Club, which became the league champion. I was myself first in Gor Mahia, then I found myself in Luo Union, and we were competing. But there was too much tribalism or ethnicity in soccer, which had messed the soccer. So Matiba stood for the chairmanship of Kenya Football Association. And they did, as usual, the rigging. It was rigged out. And when it was rigged out, then we convened a meeting. All of us were dissatisfied because we wanted a change in soccer management. So we convened a meeting. This meeting was held at the board of East African Power and Lighting boardroom, then headed by Mr. Gishau. And we came from different football clubs, and we sat there, and Ken was the one who was chairing it. And he said that these people are messing the soccer, the game that we all love. To reorganize soccer. And we agreed that we will work together. Present there was late Jobomino. We elected Matiba as the chairman, Jobomino secretary, the late Mr. Gichau treasurer. I was organizing secretary. We organized soccer, and Matiba put a very strong team to manage soccer, particularly in terms of financing. And we brought in professional coaches into the country. And we improved the quality of soccer. Kenya, for the first time, won the East African Club Championship and also the National Championship under Kenneth Matiba. And he's the one who started the academies in the country. And he said, for us to succeed, we need to go professional. Of course, there's a lot of resistance about going professional. Some of you who are there may remember that Matiba brought Mr. Pele into this country to come and talk about how to improve soccer. But because of resistance against going professional, Matiba resigned out of the soccer administration, handed over all the books of accounts to incoming office, and went to do other things. So Matiba was somebody who was very principled indeed. In those days, we had, of course, the clubs and the funds, and that became the basis of our organization later on. When Matiba found himself being rigged again in politics, he resigned from government and had just come from my second detention. And when they made that statement with Charles Rubia, by the way, I'm representing Charles Rubia in this occasion here, because he was not able to come. We were with him at the house, but he's not feeling well. That's why he was not there yesterday. That's why he's not here today. But the family are here. Will you just stand, the family of Charles Rubia? There they are. Up there. So, after they made that statement, there was that chorus of condemnation. Tribalists, ethnic chauvinists. If you want to divide the country is not ready for multipartyism in another 100 years. This multipartyism is going to create a lot of ethnic divisions and hatred. So they were moving on, and then Ken looked for me and told me that, Raila, the rate at which these people are going, only Jaramogi can actually stop them. So I want you to talk to Jaramogi to agree to make a statement. So I arranged a meeting with Jaramogi. And when we met, Ken explained to Jaramogi, he said, Jaramogi, you are like a cock who crew too early, and the rest of the country was still asleep. Therefore, they didn't understand you. They didn't hear you when you were crowing. But now Kenyans are awake. Kenyans are ready to come with you. And I want us to work together. So then, after he finished, Jaramogi told him, I want you to bring your friend, Charles, because Jaramogi knew Charles better. So the following day, Ken came again with Charles Rubia. And we then now talked together, and we talked. Jaramogi had also a Chingonek with him, Lukobok. And then we agreed that Jaramogi would make a statement. Ken went back to Diani. Then that night, Ken's home was attacked. Edith was attacked. She was cut with pangas. When he got a phone call that Edith was in Nairobi hospital, Ken flew back to Nairobi. And then together we went to see Edith in the ICU in Nairobi hospital. There's some things which are not known to Kenyans. The kind of brutality that was meted on the family, the suffering that the members of the family have undergone during all this period when Ken himself was also suffering. So, but we agreed. Then I came to Riara, and we agreed that we are going to organize the Kamkunji meeting together. He said Ken had connections with matatus, so he used matatus to mobilize people. And I would use my soccer connection, bring the Gor Mahia funds to fill the Kamkunji grounds. So he said, we are going to go. Because the statement was, we were going to ask Kenyans if they are ready for multipartyism. Then, with our lawyers, I have not seen Paul Mwite here, and Gibson Kamau Kuria. Kiraitu is here, I think Kiraitu probably has represented them. And John Haminwa. Within no time, these people came. The Askaris were stationed in front of Matiba's office in College House. They were in my office. I found so many Askaris there, in Rubia's office. When I came out of the lift, I found them there. I went into the office. They followed me and said, no, I want you to know we are not here to harm you. We are only here to prevent Matiba and Rubia from coming to see you. Apart from that, Paul Mwite and Kamau Kuria should not come into this office. You also should not go to the offices because there are also Askaris there in those offices. So I said, but how can I not see Kamau Kuria, understand Matiba? Kamau Kuria is the lawyer of this company, and I'm the managing director. How can you stop me from seeing my managing director? In the end, they said I can go. I went to Kamau Kuria's office with Kiraitu, so many police officers. 2 days later, Matiba was picked up, and Rubia, ameenda. Ameshotwa. Another 2 days, walikuja kwangu. Wakaniambia tunakutaka kwa dakika kidogo tu. Nasema nitakuja baadaye. No, tunataka wewe haraka sasa hivi. Tulienda. So we were taken. Of course, I was very familiar with the environment. Committee, maximum security prison. I had been taken to Shimulatewa, to Manyani, to Naivasha. There's no detention camp I've not been to apart from Hola. Then as we were here, Matiba was in what's called isolation block. And I was in what's called segregation block. Those who have been to committee know what I'm talking about. So the Askaris would alternate. Some of them would be looking after me this week, others would be with Matiba that week. The following week, they would change. That's how I got to know how Matiba was doing. So they would tell me that your friend is a very clean man, very hard-working person. He has cleaned the entire block, and he has even cut the grass around. He wakes up in the morning and just does cleaning. And after breakfast, he does a lot of cleaning. He even washes his clothes. And he's very jovial. After a while, they came to tell me, Mheshimiwa, your friend is sick. I said, what do you say? No, these days he's very dull. He's very dull. We talk to him. He's not talking. And he's saying he's in pain. And the doctors have come. They have examined him. Now the doctor is saying that he's pretending. That the man is pretending. What would happen when a doctor came to the detention? He would go and see Matiba, and then would also come to see me all the times. So this is kind of saying that this doctor is saying Matiba is pretending. But they themselves believe that this man is seriously sick. And this took days, if not weeks. When I heard this, the only media you have there are toilet papers they give you. So I used the toilet paper to write a note to Ida, inform Edith that Ken is sick in the hospital. And that Askari, a Kenyan patriot, is now retired. His name is only known as Mwangi, I would say that. Oh, there are so many Mwangis, you can't find him. He is the one who took that note to Ida, and that's how Ida informed Eddie that Ken was sick. When they heard that now the news was out that Ken was sick, that is when he was brought to Nairobi Hospital and registered as Mr. Muchiri for treatment. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because I believe strongly that what caused the stroke in Matiba was preventable. If action would have been taken early, Matiba would not have suffered a stroke. This is the truth that must be said. Eventually, the rest is now history is known. Ken suffered a stroke, was taken eventually to London. You heard what Lord Owen said in London. And he suffered a second stroke. We went to see him there. I was in exile with Charles Robia. All the times he would call me when I was living in Oslo to go and be with him. We would walk around Hyde Park. Edith would prepare food for us. So there are a lot of things that we shared with Kenneth Matiba. I'm saying that we have lost a great hero, a strong person, a man who was strong, who was dedicated, who was committed to principle. If Matiba says we go, we go. When he came back, after suffering that stroke and was now recuperating, then we said we are going to do a demonstration to say we want no reforms, no elections. No reforms, no elections. And we were on the streets. We came, we met in front of College House. We went through Koinange Street into Kenyatta Avenue. We walked all the way Parliament Way, Harambee Avenue, up to the Electricity House when they charged. And when they charged, there's one young man who saved Matiba's life. Because the Askari was going to hit Matiba, and this young man put his hand like this and received the impact of that. He was going to hit Matiba's head. That young man is called Captain Lumumba Owade. Later on, Matiba employed him as his security. After that, because Matiba realized that if that gentleman had not been around, he was going to be dead. Captain Lumumba Owade. Unfortunately, he's not here today. But what I'm trying to say is that Matiba was somebody who was prepared to pay the ultimate to bring about change in this country. And he suffered for it. He's paid so dearly. So dearly. But what you can say should be a reward is that now that Matiba has died, and he died when we have a new constitution in our country. We have a reformed constitution. We have new institutions which have been created in our country for good governance. And when you look at this history here, it's not different from history of many other countries. People have to come up and stand up for principle to fight for change. Change does not come alone. Change comes when people commit to bring about change in the country. So what would be the reward for Matiba? The reward for Matiba is that the ideals for which he suffered and has died are achieved. And it is because of this that after what we have been through in this country, and after we were organized for a long time and to realize what is happening to our country, where is Kenya going? When my brothers sent a message to me, Uhuru, that we should talk, I said, I'm always ready to talk for the sake of Kenya. And when we met, we sat down and talked for a long time. And we went right to the beginning, the very, very beginning, where it all started. What happened? How did we become Kenya? And when did the rain begin to beat us? and why? And what do we need to do to get Kenya back on track so that we can be able to achieve the Kenyan dream as coined by the founding fathers of our nation? So we sat down and we discussed and said, look, we're having so many countries in one. At the moment, you have a country where if a child goes to do an interview for a job, the moment he or she mentions their name, the name is either a curse or a blessing. You will get that job or not, because of what we have become. We are so divided ethnically. That's why we talked about inclusivity, ethnic cohesion. We talked about divisive elections. We talked about tribalism. We talked about corruption, insecurity, and so on. So if we address those things, then we can bring our country together. And when we agreed, then we said it's now ready to go and announce it to the people of Kenya. And we announced it, and we agreed we will shake hands. That is the handshake. And I believe strongly in what we have signed, what we've agreed on. We are not thinking about 2022. 2022 will come and go. We are thinking beyond 2022. And we agreed that the division that has all the times failed Kenya to achieve the Kenyan dream as coined by the founding fathers must be removed. It will end with us, Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta. So that we can bequeath to the future generation a better country. That our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren can live in a different country from the one that we lived in. That Kenyan can walk tall. Kenya is a great country. Kenya has a great potential. You have a youth. You have a manpower. You have got resources. What is lacking is proper leadership that will enable us to realize the Kenyan potential so that Kenya can rise up and become one of the growing nations in the world. I have spoken so much because of my friend Ken Matiba. Fare thee well, Ken. Fare thee well. Pass our greetings to Mzee Kenyatta, to Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, to Pio Gama Pinto, Masinde Muliro, and so on. Thank you very much.